Like many girls, I am addicted to selfies. When I go anywhere and I have free time and the phone in my hand, I am looking for a nice and cheerful place to take a selfie and share it with all people, to tell them that I am having a happy time. And I take pictures everywhere, even nightclubs, parks, malls, everywhere, even on highways. Wherever I was going and whatever I was doing, I had to share it with people. When you take a lot of selfies, you get used to looking at strange things in the background of photos. And I have already taken a lot of strange photos in my selfie backgrounds. But I didn't shoot scary things at all. But very recently, my friends on Facebook started to notice strange things in the background of my selfies. One day, I was putting a picture of me on the sea, and people started joking and talking about the eccentric man in the background of the picture. When I tried to see him on the phone screen, I couldn't. But when I opened the picture on the laptop at home, I was able to determine exactly what they were talking about. Very easily, I was able to distinguish him. A tall person with a height that can exceed 2 meters, standing behind me by about 50 meters. And today the temperature was very high. But this man was wearing heavy winter clothes, and his features were not clear in the photo. But the heavy jacket that he was wearing had a very strange shape on the photo. All that was right. A few days later, I was with my friends at the stadium watching a baseball game. We gathered and tried to take a group selfie of all of us. Craig is a friend of ours who doesn't like taking pictures. He suggested that we take a normal photo instead of a selfie, and he volunteered to take a picture for us. And it was better that way, because we didn't have a selfie stick. Craigie photographed us, gave me the phone, and we went back to our places. And I opened the photo for her to see. And the surprise was, the eccentric person who was on the beach was standing behind us in this photo. Could it be a coincidence? Just with a little thought, there are several bald people. Their height exceeds 2 meters. But this time they were not far from us. He was closer than the previous time. I was able to distinguish him a little. He was wearing a long jacket up to his knees and bald. I looked behind me, hurrying, trying to look for him, but he was completely disappeared. Another day we were staying up at a bar. We were almost the same group that was at the stadium. We sat down for a while. Then I suggested that we take a selfie. We took the photo, and when I looked at the photo, the phone fell out of my hand. Out of fear, outside the bar and behind me was the same person looking at me through the glass of the bar. I looked at the phone, and I couldn't believe after I grabbed it a second time. And then I looked behind me to see it with my own eyes. But, as usual, I couldn't see him. There was no trace of him. He left my phone. I left people, and I went out running to look for him like crazy. But there's no way someone of such height disappears like that in a few seconds. I went back to the bar again and spent the rest of the night confused and thinking about it. But in the end, I convinced myself that I was delusional and that this didn't happen, and it was just a coincidence no more. On my day off, I decided to go out and spend time in the garden near my house, and I walked to the small lake located in the middle of the garden and stood by it. The atmosphere was nice and the sun was beautiful. There was a very nice breeze passing through my hair. I decided to take a selfie with the lake and immediately took out my phone. The picture was cute. A squirrel running behind me, 2 children playing together and laughing, and the bald man in the long black jacket standing behind me and looking at me. I immediately turned around and looked for him, but as usual, he was not there. It was impossible. There is no time or any opportunity for him to escape in an open place like this garden, and at this speed. What's going on? Why does this guy only appear in the pictures? Suddenly, I felt a sharp pain in my right side. I fell to the ground, and I watched the picture despite the pain. His hand was piercing my body. I heard children screaming with fear and horror. An adult was screaming that we had to call for help. When I was in the hospital, my phone was lost with all the pictures, and the doctors told me that the lung was worn out in a way they didn't understand. I only understood one thing. I will never take a selfie again.